How you doing, guys? Did everybody get their invitations to this year's memorial? I know I didn't get one. I don't think I got one last year either. We all know how Watchtower is excellent at pointing out the pagan origins of most of your Christian religions, and there's no denying that they're true. I mean, we all know Christmas is pagan, and Easter will be coming up, I'm not sure when, but it will be coming up in the next week or so. And obviously, Easter and Christianity don't quite mold. We all know that Easter derived from the word Ishtar, the Babylonian goddess of fertility, hence the eggs and the rabbit and that whole hoo-ha. The one thing is, although Watchtower is great at pointing out everybody else's origins, we pretty much know that they're god-awful when it comes to pointing out their own origins. Let's face it, pyramidology. Did anybody anywhere find the pyramids anywhere in the Bible? I never did, but we all know. And we also know the Masonic symbolism throughout their history. So, with the memorial of Christ's death coming up in the next week, I believe it's Friday the 19th, 18th, something like that. Is it really a memorial of the death of Christ? We all know the ceremony and how it goes. The first one I went to was in 2007. I was basically told, like we all were told, that there were only a select few in the covenant. For the most part, Jehovah's Witnesses were there to observe. Okay, I was buying it at the time. I wasn't sure what to expect. Okay, we're there to observe. So I didn't know what was going on or how this ceremony was carried out. We all know there's a talk. Then they pray over the emblems and the wine. Now, if it's an observance, we all know the expression, see with your eyes, not with your hands. If this was an observance, why did we have to touch the emblems and the wine and pass it along? We all know what it says at John 6:53. Unless you eat of the Son of Man and drink his blood, there is no life in you. Watchtower likes to tell you that this is only for a select few, but in all honesty, that is not scriptural. That covenant was made with anyone who accepted the ransom sacrifice of the Christ. So why is it you have to touch the bread and the wine and pass it along? The origins of Watchtower, obviously, they are a Masonic organization. So, now being a Masonic organization, can you be a Freemason and a Christian? Since the god of the Masons is Lucifer, the answer is no. So regardless what you're thinking, if you are going to the memorial, we all know we pass it up, and that is an open rejection. You're saying, I'm rejecting the ransom sacrifice, symbolically. Now, even if you decide to partake, which many do, first of all, the recognized anointed in the organization are handpicked by Watchtower. They are Freemasons. So again, since they are Freemasons, are they really taking the body and blood of Christ? No, they are not. So if you decide to go to this organization and their ceremony, you are still rejecting whether you partake or not. You can find the account of the Last Supper at Luke 22:19 and Matthew 26:26 when he instituted the covenant on Nisan 14. Now, true, Jehovah's Witnesses try as close as possible to recognize it on that day, but it is still an open rejection, even if you partake. If you look at the origins of the organization, like I said, the anointed in the organization are handpicked. And if you are one who decides to partake, and you were not handpicked, you won't be counted. And since it is Masonic, you're not recognizing the Christ. You may want to ask, like I did some years ago. I went to the first one and I noticed I didn't see anybody partaking of the emblems. So I was like, what do you do with the wine and the bread afterwards? The elder told me we properly dispose of them. That's all he told me. That's a story in itself, how they dispose of it. In all honesty, guys, This whole organization is an open rejection of Christ. We know how the New World Translation reads at Romans 10:13, where it says, anybody who calls on the name of Jehovah will be saved. However, since the inspired writers of the Bible never put the divine name in the Christian Greek scriptures, Watchtower, in their infinite wisdom, inserted the name Jehovah where it did not belong. So why do they do this? This is a year-round rejection. For any Christian, the most important name to remember is the Christ. But while Watchtower inserts the name Jehovah where the Christ should be, you're rejecting the Christ. And this Friday night will only reaffirm that you are rejecting the Christ. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. To be all honest with you, if anybody decides to go to this memorial, stay away. It is completely satanic. Like I said, the anointed are handpicked. As far as your governing body being part of the anointed class and anointed by God, no. They are voted in by the Freemasons, those who have stock in the corporation. Voted in, not anointed by the Almighty. And anyways, you might ask, well, why are they doing this? Being that's a Luciferian organization, very easy. At Isaiah 14:14, it reads, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And many of Jehovah's Witnesses really believe this is the truth. They've been conditioned to believe what the governing body tells them. There are also many in the organization who know that it's a Luciferian organization because their God, the one they call Jehovah,